Hello, guys. Happy Friday night, and welcome to another edition of Wrestling Royalty. Tonight, we're going to do something a little bit different that I haven't done before. We're going to do a live unboxing, whatever you want to kind of call it. I'm flying solo tonight. Some of the guys who would normally join me are away on holiday and in a good deserved break, whether it's in New York or whether it's across in Norway and Oslo, or whether it's just having to do with the work. Everyone's kind of busy. But I appreciate you joining us. So hopefully this is all going to go okay tonight. So I'm really appreciative for anyone who does join. Feel free to put some comments in and keep you company. But while we're doing the unboxing, I'm just going to have a bit of a chat about what I've enjoyed this week in wrestling. It's been a busy one. So if you want to let me know in the comments what you've enjoyed this week, that'd be really cool. What you've got coming up in terms of wrestling, or if you're just having a good night and you just kind of want to have a chat, feel free to chuck a comment in there, and we'll see where we go from here. So before we go any further, it's time for the big flashy intro. Hello, guys, again. So, yeah, as I said, I'm flying solo tonight, which feels a bit strange because normally I'd have either Sam or Dom or Scott or anyone really. So it's kind of interesting to be doing it on my own tonight. We'll get a few of these will be thrown in, and I'm going to try different things to see how we get on and see what people like. I'm going to play a little bit of music just because I'm very aware that it is just me talking tonight. So feel free to let me know if the music comes on a bit too loud, and just let me know if you've got any other comments. But yeah, so I can see there's a couple of people in already. So hello to Dean from Scenescape Shop, who is an awesome YouTuber himself and an even better artist as well. So yeah, he's great. Go check out his stuff. Sam, even though he's on holiday in New York, he's probably in the middle of some sort of pub crawl with his missus. I hope he's having a great time, and I really appreciate you joining. So thanks very much. He's even here in spirit when he can't be on camera. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you're having a lovely Friday evening. So why are we here today? As you can see across the bottom, I'm going to do an opening. I ordered a box off of eBay of a 2022 Panini Prizm WWE Blaster box. So I'm going to crack open the box, and then we'll crack open the cards and see how we're getting on. And then we'll see what cards we get. I've never done one of these before, so I'm a little bit nervous as to how it kind of plays out and what we're supposed to talk about. So as I say, keep the comments coming. I can see Tom Talks Rubbish is in. Evening, Tom. Really hope you're having a lovely Friday evening. Dean's painting Jurassic Park for his video on Thursday. He does coffee breaks on a Thursday morning, where you can pour yourself a coffee and enjoy watching him create an amazing bit of art each Thursday. So definitely go check that out. He's a good friend of the show. So as I said, we have a big box that I'm going to have to crack open before we get into what I presume is a little box. I haven't seen it at all. As you can see, it is completely still sealed. And I'm going to have to get that. I'm going to keep the knife away from the screen. I don't know if YouTube's a little bit funny about that sort of thing being shown. So we'll keep it away from the camera anyway. 30-year anniversary. What is that, of Jurassic Park? That's yeah, just make me feel a little bit old there, Dean. So what have we got here? You get some nice ASMR. Is that what it's called? When people like listen to the sounds and stuff up close and personal. I don't know how much is being picked up. So here we go. This is it. As you can see, we've got the 24 cards per box, Panini Prizm. So this is from last year. I'm fully aware that we actually have a new one. It's not out really in the UK to buy. It's not easy to get hold of, or you can spend a lot of money. But I thought we'd give last year's a bit of a go first. So as you can see, it's still got the wrapping on it. We're going to crack this open. We're going to have a look and see what we've got. Really interested to know what, if any, cards or stickers you've collected over the years. I've always been a massive sticker book fan. I love the idea of just getting some pocket money, and I used to go down to the newsagents and buy some stickers. It used to be Premier League, and that was when it was like Merlin and Panini. So yeah, lots of lots of different sticker books. There's my wife who's also joining from the other room. She will attest that I love collecting sticker books. Don't normally finish them. Normally end up just a few short. But it's a passion of mine. I do like collecting them. But recently, I think the last one we tried to collect was a Disney princess one with my daughter. I swear it's for my daughter, not for me. As Dean says, those things are dangerous to collect. They are. They can actually rack up quite quickly in terms of cost. You think you're only spending, it used to be about 30 pence, I think, for a packet of stickers. Probably set you back about £1 now. So I'm just going to open these, and then we're going to get the plastic off. So let me know if you've been collecting any cards or stickers recently. I'd love to hear what you like, and if you don't, let me know why you've never been interested. Is it a financial thing or just not bothered at all? So what have we got in here? So inside the box, it looks like we've got a few different packets of cards to open. So what's that? 6 packs of cards to open with 4 in each. And it looks like they're all the same front cover, which is Becky Lynch and Roman Reigns. I don't know if it'll focus in on that. There we go. I'm sure you can see them. So what we'll do is I'll open them one by one, but I'm really interested to know what you guys have been watching this week in wrestling. Of course, last week we did a stream where we were talking about a big weekend of wrestling. We started off with the Impact show Under Siege on the Friday. We had a WWE Saudi show, so it was a nice convenient time for the UK fans. And then we went into Sunday and we had NXT at the exact same time as AEW's Double or Nothing. Personally, I really enjoyed NXT last week for Battleground. So yeah, fantastic to see that kind of weekend of wrestling unfurl. I was on Scott's channel quite a lot last week, so that was a Rebellious Noise. He was doing a lot of preview shows, he was doing some review shows, and he was doing watch-alongs. And the guys from Give Me a Hug, yeah, and you normally can see me on their channel as well quite often, normally every week, doing the SmackDown watch-along with Sam. Those guys are doing a lot of videos as well, so check out both their channels. Really good friends of the channel of this channel, and they constantly plug Wrestling Royalty as well. So Dean, yeah, I used to love the old 90s blue cards. I'm not sure what that is. You have to tell me what the blue cards are. He's got a special few cards a few years ago with centimetre square of actual ring aprons. Yeah, they did. I don't know if there's anything like that in these. I don't know too much about them. I know they can get hobby boxes, which are the kind of really expensive ones. And I think it's about 130 quid or something I saw them go for on eBay, if not even more. So you probably just get like a lot of these kind of packs, or maybe even have a chance to get the ones with the ring apron in. So I'm just going to crack this first one open and we'll see what's going on. But yeah, as I say, if you've been watching any wrestling this week, let me know what you've enjoyed. Again, apologies if this is coming through loud on the old microphone. So let's see what we've got. So 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. They're quite thick cards and they're very shiny. So the first one there is a Riddle. Before we went back to his name of Matt Riddle, with a little bit of a blurb on the back. This is a good thing. It might not go. It just tells you where he's from. Good luck solving this riddle. Brutal strikes, punishing submissions, and intense suplexes embody the in-ring style of the original Bro. His claims to fame include a 6-second win at NXT TakeOver War Games 2, the shortest match in NXT history. I think that was against Cassius Ohno, and it was one that was kind of put on very last minute, and competing in the first Fight Pit match in WWE history. I believe Kurt Angle was the special guest referee for that one. Dean's just... Yeah, the blue cards, I think, were the first ones they did. There was like 10 different Hulk Hogan and Warrior ones, and 5 a Macho Man, $1 Million Man, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, etc. Pretty cool. So, yeah, really appreciate the info. Might have been a little bit before my time, but that's not a dig at you at all there, Dean. We've got the legend that is Eddie Guerrero doing a frog splash, which is kind of cool. What else have we got going on? Raquel Gonzalez. So tells you NXT 2.0. So of course these are, as I said, these are from last year. where they're on. That's why NXT is still down as 2.0, and Raquel Gonzalez, of course, now on the main roster. So she's now recently lost the tag team championships with Liv Morgan when Liv had to retire the titles, from her anyway. Before they were won on Monday night by Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler as well. So interesting direction. I was reading some news today that apparently they're already thinking of splitting that tag team up, which is a strange one. They seem to be one of the more legit. Interesting to see that. Apologies, Dean. I didn't mean to make you feel old. How much did the box set you back? I bartered a little bit on eBay and managed to get it down to, I think it was about £28. So not too bad. I think it was originally on for about 35, but I kind of just had a quick look through to see what was going on. And the last one in this pack was Tyler Bate, which is a nice flashy green card. Someone who's a little bit more au fait with the old with these kind of cards might tell me what the different colours mean, if anything. I know there's certain things that people look for. Blaster exclusive. Oh, green pulsar prism. That's what this is. A green pulsar prism. I presume it's one of the more collectible ones. But yeah, there's Tyler Bate doing his Tyler driver. And on the back, it just tells you he's from Dudley, England. Of course, he's from around the Birmingham area, doing some great stuff. Had a great match on Sunday for the North American Championship. If you haven't checked out Battleground, be sure to go check out my Talking Points review of that and Night of Champions over on russianrock.com. I've got some highlight clips within there interspersed throughout the writing. So yeah, go give it a check out. That went live this week, so it's definitely worth a check. So let's have a look at what the next pack holds. But there's some cool photographs on all the cards, and we just mentioned a name before. We've got Shayna Baszler about to an arm lock on the on Trinity, as she's now called. Was Naomi back in the day when she was in WWE. We've got the legend that is Dusty Rhodes, baby. Of course, his name comes up a lot these days in WWE, with Cody being back in and finishing the story, etc. There's a really cool bit going around at the moment of him in a match at Madison Square Garden doing his bionic elbow, and all, back in the days of where it was a little bit more sort of pantomime-ish, I guess. Jinder Mahal, now back as a member of the Raw roster with Indus Sher. So he's back in the big time. Be interested to see what they decide to do with him. And here's an interesting one. So the first two packets, this one just has gold plastered all over it. The gold AJ Styles, who of course last week was in Night of Champions, was going for the new World Heavyweight Championship against Seth Rollins. So yeah, there's an AJ Styles gold. Good to have the Gimme Hell Yeah guys in. Nice Dusty Rhodes one. Big fan of going back and watching some of the old Dusty matches. Anyone's got any recommendations as to what matches to go watch? Of course, everyone knows the Hard Times. The Hard Times promo that he cut is probably one of his most famous things that he ever did. But I'm a big fan of his influence over NXT as well. So it's always great to see anything when you can go back and kind of watch. But there's some really cool stuff going on in NXT and just in WWE in general at the moment. They're kind of doing a lot of shout or callbacks, I guess is probably the right thing to say. Callbacks to some of the Dusty stuff, like the broken hand that Cody currently has, or the broken arm. A little bit of a callback or throwback to when Dusty had his arm broken by the Horsemen. So that's really cool. Sam's likes the AJ Gold one that we've just unraveled. I don't know if that's the right word. See, this is the first time I've done an unboxing. We'll see how we go. And he's not trying to make this weird, but he's listening to me in the shower. So hopefully I'm as good as a radio might have been in terms of my voice, and it might be a nice soothing experience for you. But yeah, you didn't want to leave the stream, and that's both both the shower stream and this one, hopefully. Appreciate that. Thanks very much, Sam. I hope you are enjoying your York trip, and get yourself out. Go get a drink after this as well. We're not going to be on too long, so you've got no excuses. Next packet. Guru Raj. It's not a name I'm that familiar with, but he's an NXT 2.0 from India. I believe he was on the special Indian show that they did under the Thunderdome era, which was kind of cool. Again, some news today. It's looking likely that I think it was September that I saw WWE going to go do a premium live event out in India. So they're definitely continuing to do their sort of worldwide premium live events. It's obviously making a lot of money for them, but it's also really interesting to see from a fan's perspective of like the kind of noises that different countries make. Obviously, the Puerto Rican show that we had for Backlash was very good, very, very loud. Sets the table up nicely for the UK fans. Even the Saudi crowd last weekend, I thought there was some good noise, especially for the moment where Jimmy finally super kicked Roman in the face a couple of times, which was really cool to hear. The Saudis getting a good pop there as well. Next card, Kofi Kingston. These cards are really cool. They've got kind of like almost chrome effect on them around the outside, but Kofi Kingston's got a little bit of a blurb about him. So yeah, it's just basically talking about he's held the Intercontinental title 4 times, the United States title 3 times, and 14 reigns as a tag team champion. So good bit of trivia on the back for each of them as well. So very cool. The next one, the lesser spotted Lacey Evans these days, who seems to come and go out of WWE quite a lot at the moment. Can't ever really kind of settle on whether she's a heel or a face, but yeah, it's a shame. She obviously has a lot of in-ring talent, but doesn't seem to be able to kind of catch a break when it comes to creative. The next one we've got is a fearless Rey Mysterio, so very cool as well. Just hope you can kind of see all that and not just the reflection. But Rey Mysterio has had a great year so far, hasn't he? And it's my favourite number 19 for Rey Mysterio there. Again, with a little bit of a blurb about Rey Mysterio as well. So yeah, they are pretty snazzy as banger after banger after banger. Want to see a Rock or Stone Cold or a Cena or a Hogan or Taker? Let's see if we get lucky enough to get any of those legends. Dean's a big fan of the Attitude Era. A lot of his heroes are from around there, around then. Which can you really blame him? They're obviously some of the biggest names that will ever grace a WWE ring. So what have we got next? We've got one of the Viking Raiders, Viking Experience. They've gone by a lot of names. We've got Ivar. Looks like it's Seth Rollins that he's clotheslining there. But yeah, Ivar doesn't even tell you where he's from, because I would guess that they want to make it out like they're from some Scandinavian country, but they're really nice guys. We've seen them up in Newcastle back when they were on the indie scene, which is really cool. They're actually they were fighting the Young Bucks at Northumbria Uni, so you can see a lot of the talent that's probably the biggest in the world at the moment on either AEW or WWE in a university up in the northeast of England, which is really cool. But yeah, saw those guys. They had a match against the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks had their bags confiscated because I believe they were trying to get merchandising to sell and didn't have the right permits or whatever. So they took their entire bags off of them. So they had to wrestle in whatever clothes they could get hold of. So I think they were wrestling in normal trainers. So a little bit of an anecdote for you from the northeast of England. Sonya Deville. This would be back in her days when she was kind of one of the joint, not GMs, but she was in charge. I think it was she was kind of alongside Adam Pearce for a while. But yeah, Sonya Deville. But again, I'm really enjoying what Sonya Deville is doing at the moment. So yeah, really cool to see her in the tag team with Chelsea Green, being the kind of the Karens, I guess, that they've been nicknamed. It's awesome to kind of see her get a chance again after kind of falling off a little bit as a wrestler and being more backstage. She had that horrible incident at home, but she used to obviously be with Mandy Rose back on the main roster before Mandy Rose went to NXT. So great to see Sonya Deville back in and around it. Now we have James Drake. Now, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I know he's in Schism, but he's obviously part of Grizzled Young Veterans with Zach Gibson, but they've changed their names now. I can't remember if he's something Fowler or if that's... yeah, someone let me know in the comments if you can remember what James Drake's name is at the moment that he's going by. Yeah, this is back in the days where he, as it was last year, where he was down with Zach Gibson as part of the Grizzled Young Veterans, who look to be set to leave WWE and NXT later this year. Jagger Reed, that's it. Yeah, they've got some funky names that they, I guess they decided on themselves. But they're acting very professionally in terms of they know that they want to go out of the company and go back to this sort of indie style wrestling. But yeah, it would be interesting to see if they do come up with a deal to stay and go up to the main roster, or if that is definitely them done. Either way, the fact that they're on NXT week in, week out just speaks volumes. I know Shawn Michaels said that he will use them as long as he possibly can, because obviously they are very professional in what they're doing. And the last card for this pack, Prismatic Entrances. This is a Drew McIntyre Prismatic. We've got my Google speaker in the background saying something, but here's the Drew McIntyre Prismatic Entrances. So they look like they kind of do like different specials, I guess. You get like one special per pack. We've got that green Pulsar Prism to start with, which is really cool with Tyler Bate. So I wonder if they're the kind of ones that are maybe a little bit more to get a hold of. I'll do some research after this, just in case we go through any more. But yeah, it's they are really snazzy cards. They're obviously got this kind of like, I say, chrome effect on them. And just as I've said, the last one, that they all have specials. This one doesn't. But we've got a Robert Roode to start with. Used to be Bobby Roode. Obviously had great times in TNA when it was TNA, and then Impact. I don't know if he ever was in Impact, but he was definitely in TNA as part of Beer Money. And then he moved across and gave us one of the best entrances with Glorious, which is really cool. This year he's had some injury problems where I think he's had some sort of I can't remember if it was neck spinal fusion or something he's had, which sounds like Braun Strowman's had the same kind of surgery this year, so out for a long time if they ever actually get a chance to come back, which is such a shame to see them, not even get a kind of goodbye or like we'll see in a while sort of match. But I hope that both those guys heal up and we get to see them sooner rather than later. Next one, Austin Theory, current US champion. I believe he's about to hit a milestone of around 200 days as the title holder. So he's doing well for himself, but I must admit, he hasn't done too much since WrestleMania and his John Cena run. He drafted to SmackDown, but we haven't really seen too much of him. And obviously, there's a lot going on SmackDown, a lot with the draft, etc. But it'll be interesting to see what direction we go in moving forward, because it would be nice to see the US title try and get a bit more prestige about it. Doing a great job with Gunther and the IC title. So let's see some more of Austin Theory or US title be defended. Next, we've got someone who's no longer with WWE, and he's moved across in the last few weeks across to AEW. And we've got Roderick Strong. Of course, one of my good friends, John, huge Roderick Strong fan, was very disappointed that he wasn't kind of used towards the end. He kind of got that written off. I think he did actually have an injury when he was with Diamond Mine, but he got kind of written off TV. But yeah, such a shame that they didn't even kind of have a final match for him. He just disappeared, then turned up on AEW about 4 weeks ago, I think it was. But reuniting with Adam Cole, so at least there is a silver lining there. Glad people are getting longer, more meaningful title reigns. Yeah, it's definitely something that WWE seem to be concentrating on a lot more at the moment, is kind of building up lineage and building up some long, and kind of meaningful title reigns. And tonight we're going to see a 1,000-day reign for celebration for Roman Reigns. I believe he hit that last week, as they did keep saying it on Night of Champions. He was going to hit it later that night. But yeah, 1,000 days with the Universal Championship, and they've kind of just bundled it together. Heavy rumours that we're going to see a new title belt tonight, which would be really cool to see if they decide to move in that direction, which then would probably roll into the other belts having to be renamed, because for some reason we still have the Raw Women's Championship on SmackDown and the SmackDown Women's Championship on Raw, so it's all a little bit confusing. And then the last one for this pack, before we move on to the last pack, we've got Joseph Connors. Again, someone who I think is now popping up on the independent scene instead of going. But he's billed as being from Nottingham, England, so well and truly in the East Midlands of the UK or England. Was on NXT UK. Coming with Joseph Connors was actually, I think he was one of the people who was in the initial UK tournament for the belt. When they introduced the belt anyway, that Tyler Bate eventually won against Pete Dunne in the final. So yeah, Joseph Connors being part of the pack is really cool. So before we move on to the last pack that we're going to open up, thanks very much for everyone for joining me. I hope you are having a lovely Friday. If you haven't already, let me know what you're up to, or if you've got any plans for the weekend, let me know what's going on this weekend as well. We're a little bit earlier than we normally would be because it is just me flying solo. And I also want you to let me know if you've enjoyed this, if you would like to see me do more unboxing. I've just ordered from a company called Blacksmith, a mystery box where you get 2 football shirt inspired wrestling collaboration. It's very difficult to kind of explain, but in the future we'll do another video when that comes through where I'm going to get 2 mystery shirts. And the way that they kind of have them, they're in a football shirt style, but they're themed around a wrestler. If you look them up, it's Blacksmith, but take the A out of black, and I think it's take the I out of Smith, and then you'll find them, I'm sure. They do a really cool Shawn Michaels inspired one. They've got a really cool Bret Hart one. There's a few people off the indies and people that are in Impact, and they've just put one up today, which is for Will Ospreay's faction over in New Japan, which looks very smart. So presumably you can get any 2 of the shirts that have already released. That one's on pre-sale. They've got a Bullet Club one on pre-sale. So if you're into your football and you're into your wrestling, it's absolutely perfect for you. We'll do an unboxing of that in the future when it comes through. So look out for that in the next couple of weeks. But for now, let's get this last packet cracked open and see what we finish off with. Did we start strong, or are we going to finish strong? As Dean says, let's hit it strong. We have one of the GOATs, John Cena, who is about to deliver an attitude adjustment, or an FU, as it used to be called, to Shinsuke Nakamura there. So we did get someone who, very big there in John Cena. As they say on the card, John Cena is simply one of the greatest superstars of all time. Very difficult to argue with that. I'm not sure if I 100% enjoyed his match against Theory at WrestleMania this year, but it's always great to see him, and just his music hits, whatever arena or stadium is going to go absolutely crazy. Next, we've got Primate, who is in incredible shape there. As just before we talk about Primate, Sam, I couldn't see it. Nothing more I can say to that. Primate, who used to be a mainstay up in some of the indie shows up in Newcastle. I believe he runs his own fitness, maybe even wrestling school up here as well. In great shape there. He was doing some really cool stuff in NXT UK with Wild Boar before NXT UK obviously went defunct. And then we're still awaiting news of what's going to happen when it comes to NXT Europe that we were promised. But yeah, really interested to see where he pops up next. I think Primate is likely to be on some of the indie shows across in the UK, but used to be a proper hardcore wrestler. I remember seeing them WCPW or ICW up in Newcastle, jumping off of stages and platforms and things like that at the O2 Academy. But yeah, always good fun when Primate was around. But it's also very difficult to keep track of like where people are these days, or if they're no longer wrestling, etc. Speaking of people who are no longer wrestling, unfortunately, Mandy Rose. Again, these are cards that are from last year. These are 2022 edition. There is a new set come out. I think it's only about a few weeks old in America. You might have seen some adverts for it on WWE television, which is what kind of inspired me to buy this pack and go through it. But yeah, Mandy Rose, no longer with WWE. She's doing her own thing I don't think it's OnlyFans, but it's something like OnlyFans, and supposedly making a lot of money from it. So whether or she does or doesn't come back to wrestling, I'm sure she's kind of made for life. But she made that decision that she kind of wanted to go after her own ventures. So good on her. I won't say too much more. I think Sam might subscribe to her channel, so maybe Sam could give us some more details. I'll probably get to her for that one next time he's on the stream. And to finish off, we've got a next level Riddle. So I believe Riddle was the very first card that I showed, and then we've got this next level one here as well, which is very funky. We've got a sort of rainbow chrome effect going on here, and it's got a different blurb, so that's interesting. This is a number 4, so one of the earlier ones. Yeah, so we started with Riddle. We're going to end with Riddle. I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, there we go. So there's the kind of difference in cards that you can get. But yeah, they're really interesting to see these. Let me just try and find the special ones that we got within these packs. But let me know what your favorite card was. Would you collect these yourself? Is it something that you would look to get when the 2023 one comes out? So yeah, let me know if this is your kind of thing, and if you've enjoyed the unboxing. So here's all the special ones that we got. Let me see if I can actually angle these properly. A Rey Mysterio, an AJ Styles, a Tyler Bate, a Riddle, Drew McIntyre. So by the looks of it, and I probably should have looked this up a bit before, we've got prismatic entrances, fearless cards, gold cards. We've got a green Pulsar Prism card, and a next level. So I wonder if there's any more kind of specials. But yeah, I'll go do a little bit of research and see what the deal is with all these kind of different cards going on. But that's it, guys. So that's 24 cards. It's quite a thick sort of deck of cards, and so each one has a blurb on it about the rest of it that's on the front. So yeah, interesting. Let's see what the comments are going on. Dean Cena's the best one. Yeah, I think Dean's definitely about collecting his favourites. So no surprise there. The Dusty Rose one was cool, as we said earlier on. Always cool to get like legend cards through. But I enjoyed that. So hopefully you guys did too. I'm going to keep it nice and short tonight. We're not going to drag it out. But again, if you're going to tune into anything tonight in terms of wrestling, why don't you stick SmackDown on in the background, have the Gimme a Hug Yeah guys on. I believe Dan Hargreaves is in for Sam. Sam's normally the one who would take you through on a Friday night. But Dan's going to do it. I wonder if he's going to bring his snacks. There's a bit of a sort of cult following with his snacks, which I know Dean will be a big fan of as well. So yeah, if you're going to join, grab some crisps or chips wherever you're from in the world. Grab some sweets or whatever, and let him know what you're eating. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. And I believe that will start at 1 a.m. As for me, as I say, go check out rushonrock.com. There's some great wrestling content on there. And this week you can read about my kind of talking points. So this week it was more about Night of Champions and a bit about Battleground as well. So you can read about Tiffany Stratton and Dragunov, who had a fantastic last man standing match, which I think in the next couple of weeks we'll probably do a watch along. So I'll give everyone a heads up of how that will work. We've done one in the past with the Royal Rumble 2000, I believe it was, that we did. But it'd be really cool to watch that last man standing that Dragunov had at NXT. Fantastic example of what you can do when you really sell pain the way the Dragunov did. If you haven't watched it, don't watch it yet. We'll do a watch along in the next couple of weeks. But for now, I really appreciate you joining me. Special shout out to Dean and Sam, who have joined me and kept me company for the last half an hour or so. But for now, I've been Andy. This has been Wrestling Royalty. Here's a flashy outro for you.